pressures of life they get me down. I know your love, I know your love is all around. You stood by me through the thick and thin. And with you, Lord, I know I can win, yeah. You can be my family and they're doing well. They're doing well. That's not the only story you gave me to tell. How you saved me, Lord, for the world to see. That you do for them, Jesus, what you done for me. Lord, I praise you for what you've done for me. You've been good. Thank you, Lord. Well, you've been so good. Lord, I praise you. How you set me free. You set me free. You've been good. Thank you, Lord. You've been so good to me. You gave me your word and it made me strong. It made me strong. They said, go sing my gospel. I'll help you carry on. From a little child raised on a field. When I look where I am, Jesus, Lord, it's so unreal. Lord, I praise you. Praise you. What you've done for me. You've been good. Thank you, Lord. Oh, my. You've been good. You've been so good. Lord, I praise you. Praise you. How you set me free. You set me free. You've been good. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Jesus. You've been so good. I just want to say thank you. For my mother, I want to say thank you. And my father, too. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. You've been so good. You've really been good. I thank you. For my ups and all my downs. Thank you. All my changes and turn around. Thank you, Lord. You've been so good. Lord, I thank you. Thank you. Lord, I thank you. I thank you. I really thank you. Thank you, Lord. You've been so good to me.
Oh, my mic was muted. Ladies and gentlemen, we are about to bring up a young man that I've been knowing a while. He great guy. He's always giving encouraging words. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Michael Kimpson. Give him a great big hand. What's going on, Uncle Mike?
What's happening, nephew? Good to see you, man.
Man, it's good to see you too. How everything been going for you?
Going good, man. No need complaining. God is still blessing.
Oh yeah, that's always a good thing.
I'll tell you what, I got to tell you, man, y'all did your thing Saturday, man.
Man, we just trying to do what we can do, following in the legend's footsteps. So
trust me, y'all did your thing. I enjoyed that.
We appreciate it, man. So let's go and get into it.
All righty.
So, the legendary Michael Kimpson. Tell us, what can you remember? Take us back to your childhood. What can you remember from like birth up until like your childhood days? Give us a rundown of that.
Well, I was raised in a home with a mother and a father, and in my childhood, when I was born, I was for years I had asthma real bad. So I can remember my mother was a nurse until she retired. She had worked there about 40 years as a respiratory therapist. She went through the whole thing, the gamma, as far as ambulance attendant and the RA and everything. And I remember it looked like once a week she would have to rush me to the hospital in New York for asthma attacks. And, they would put me in and blah, blah, blah. And I had a cousin. I remember I would go with my brothers and them. They had a group in New York called the Benjamin Specials. And I was a little boy. I couldn't have been no more than about 8 or 9. And at that time, me and my brother Cleo, he lives in Orangeburg, we would walk on Sundays and find churches that didn't have musicians. Now, I don't know why he had me with him, but he had me. And we would find churches. And if they didn't have musicians, we'd go in and introduce ourselves and play for that church that day. So we wound up going all over the Bronx, New York, playing for churches. We just love doing it. We'd get up on Sunday, put on our suits and my little suit, and we'd walk. We'd go to church and hear them singing and don't hear no music. We go in. Before the day is over, before the service over, we playing for them. I'm on the drums, just a snare drum in front of me. And he get on their organ and we would play. But we had a family group, and I always wanted to be a quartet singer. So as a little boy, I had a cousin. I don't know if you ever heard of, may have heard of the Thrashing Wonders of New York. They had a song out back then called "I Come From a Long Line of Poor Folks," and they were the first group that I saw. I was a little boy, and to me, it was like I was watching Apollo or so, watching the Temptations and the OJs, with these guys. And I always said that's what I wanted to do. I always said I used to get home, and I would take my mom and dad's gospel records and sneak them in the room with the little recorder, the little record player. And I would sneak them in the room and get the broom or the mop. And I would be the bass player or the guitar player for each one of them groups. We talking about Swan, Silvertones, all these kind of groups way back then. And I would play. And I finally ran up on a group called Slim and the Supreme Angels. I didn't know nothing about them, but I liked what they were doing. And I always dreamed that I would be with the mop in the mirror and that I was between Al and Sugar, not knowing that one day it would be that way. And I would go around. And like I said, as I got old, about 13, 14, 15, about to come out of high school, I met up with Joey Williams, from the Blind Boys, Alabama. And we would go all over every group. One thing about New York, the groups, when they would come to New York and didn't have musicians, me and Joey would play for them. That's why we got to play for everybody. I'm talking about all of them, Hawkins family, whoever, we got to play for all of them, because whenever they didn't have a musician, we were right there on the spot. They would call us, the Mighty Clouds. I remember they would come to town and they would ask me how to get to certain programs as a young boy. And my friends and neighbors would call upstairs, "There's a bus downstairs." So they would run downstairs and,
right.
I would get on a bus, show them how to get to the programs and stuff like that. And I would, play like with groups when they come to Soul Stirrers, all these guys. And that got me to knowing these guys, that got me to know. And it was funny because I was a drummer back then. And with the Soul Stirrers, Martin J. Cox and Willie Rogers and them, they made me their unofficial drummer. We would be on shows with some of the biggest groups. And the groups couldn't understand how would they hire me to play a local boy and a local group in the Bronx. But they would always hire me to play with them, because they would come to the Bronx and we'd play basketball, Jackie Banks and Ben Oldham and all, and we'd play basketball stuff. I was still local then, and that's how I got my start in gospel from a little boy. I always wanted to do it. This was something that from a childhood, after I graduated high school, because I used to go to school when other kids 9, 10, 11 years old wore jeans and stuff, or when Easter came, they wanted the jeans and the whatever. I wanted suits. I was going to elementary school and middle school with suits on and shoes and everything, and I was looking like a preacher back then. So that was always how I grew up as a young man, and this, my life as a child. That was my childhood. I played sports. I played basketball. I played baseball as a little kid, and I did that thing. I did the average thing that kids did. But on Sundays, you can forget it. Whatever you had planned, I don't know what to tell you. I'm going to church.
You're going to be in that church. Yeah, yes, sir.
And they didn't have to make me go. I wanted to go. I found something in there that when I found church, it was like that was the greatest thing I could have found. So I couldn't wait for Sundays to come because I get to sit on the drums and beat on. I wasn't playing nothing. I get on the drums and get the beating and banging. And I got that I played like I did with the pots and pans at home. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Same way, but I loved it. And as I got older, kept going. And I've been in the church all my life with that. I've done other things, but I've always came back to the church, always.
Gotcha. So I'm looking at the comments, and we got your son, sophomore, Anthony Sherrills. He's in there. Y'all give him a great big hand. Okay, so how did you first discover you had a love for music? Like, what was that like? When did you just know that?
I think I was about 14 when 15 when I really got the love for it. I couldn't get enough of gospel quartets. I couldn't get enough of it. It was something different to me. It was by me going to church. I felt that I couldn't get close to the Temptations and all these people, but I could get close to them 4 or 5 guys in the quartet group standing up there with suits on. You know what I'm saying? They were my Temptations, my OJs, and about 14 years old when I really found out that, hey, I love this, and this is all I wanted to do.
Okay. All right. So let's skip around a little bit.
All right.
Who was the first group that you ever had a chance to play for professionally?
Professionally, be a member of?
Well, just to play for.
The first group I ever had a chance to play for professionally was Dorothy Norwood and Bill Moss and the Celestials.
Wow. They
had Bill Moss back then had a tour going. He would do every year called the Hurricane. And like I said, me and Joey and us would go around and play for these people. They would come to New York and they started taking us out of town. And then I lived down the street from Dorothy Norwood. Well, my church was down the street from hers in Harlem. And I got to travel and play for Dorothy Norwood. She used to call me, when I got with Slim, she used to tell Slim, you got my musician, And Slim would get smart. You can have him back, So, but we would travel with her. She had a sports Mercedes then. And we would drive it around for her, help her when she was living in Fort Lee, New Jersey. Then she moved back to Harlem. And our church was on 135th Street in Lenox Avenue. She was on 132nd Street in Lenox Avenue. And so I got to play with her, and I didn't play with some of everybody, man. I lived in the same building with Louis Johnson of the Swan Silvertones. He was on the 3rd floor. I was on the 5th floor. And when I got to play with him, I got free clothes cleaned because his wife owned a cleaners right underneath the building. So I could put my clothes in the cleaners, get them clean, and and I would be. Claude Jeter lived in our building. Remember, Claude Jeter lived in the building. So I got Harlem, New York, and the Bronx was a hot spot for quartets. So I got to meet some of everybody. You know what I'm saying? They would come. By the time I got 21, it wasn't nobody hardly I hadn't played for. If Larry McCowan missed a date with the Keynotes, you know what I'm saying? I was on the bass. Once I started playing bass, and how I got to playing bass, I was with the Blind Boys. I was their drummer. And we were in Louisiana with Mildred Clark and the Melody Ayers, Cheryl Dowdall. Mm-hmm. She was with them. and Mildred Clark, the Volunteers, and the Blind Boys were touring together. And through the whole tour, I would play drums for the Volunteers, and they would play bass. Tito would play bass for the Blind Boys. So we were swapping out musicians. Then we played for Mildred and all of us, right? And one particular night, Tito didn't show. So they had no bass player. So I played for the Blind Boys and the Volunteers, the bass. And after I played, the Blind Boys told me, said, man, if we see you on some drums again, you fired. So they hired me as the bass player, and got me off the drums. I got off the drums, and I'll never forget our first tour. When I got with them as the bass player, our first tour, we were headed to California. And at that time, the tour was the Keynotes, the Blind Boys, and the Truth Is. Two of them were little girls. When I first met them, I met them in California, because we stopped when I met the Volunteers, we stopped in St. Louis, and I was green to this with the Blind Boys, and got there, and I seen these guys come on the balcony to greet us, and all of them had curlers in their hair and rags, and I wasn't used to that, So it blew me away. I didn't know what to think. I just was like, whoa, And little did I know that as time went, I joined the curlers club too. That's the first time when I saw them. They had all of them. Every one of them came out on the balcony to speak to us. Had rollers in their hair and the nets on their head, and I was like, man, what is this? I didn't know what to think. Because in New York, I was thinking, like Fred Sanford said, I didn't know. And then we got to California. Two of them were there, so I met them. Their father Felton, I met all of them. That's when they had Kayla and Becky and all of them. And I met them, and we toured California with the Keynotes and them. And like I said, I got so many stories, man, because God was good to me, man. I had God. He kept me. My family used to tell me, don't you go on that road, man. You're going to starve to death. And the guys ain't making no money. I'm sure you done heard some kind of stories from, when you leave home, especially when you're playing for your family group. Right. They don't want you to leave, so they try to tell you everything. Man, you going to come back so skinny, man, and blah, blah, blah. And then I came back. When I did finally come back home, I was big as a house. I said, I thought y'all told me I was going to starve. Man, I said, look at me, man.
Anything to keep you home.
Anything to keep you home. Then, man, you better not do it. I'm telling you, man, you better listen to me. All right, and you can't tell you nothing. Man, them guys going to mistreat you. Never been mistreated. You know what I'm saying? So no more than me. If they did, I let them. Wasn't that they did it on purpose to me, Right. But I enjoyed my journey out here. I've been doing this now over 50 years. And I enjoyed my journey. I definitely enjoyed. Met some great people, met some folks. And like I always tell people, a lot of places we went, I only would have saw in a magazine or a book.
Right.
But they paid me to come there and sing. I didn't have to go on vacation and take my money and go. I'm going on a trip. No, they paid me to come to their town. You know what I'm saying?
That's a blessing, man.
Oh, man, that's a blessing. That's a blessing. And I just, once I got hooked on this, I was hooked. I didn't want to be no baseball player, no basketball player. I wish I had her with the money they make. You know what I'm saying? I just looked at the board. The Yankees just signed the other day for $765 million. I should have kept playing baseball. But I didn't want to do none of that. I wanted to sing gospel. That's all I wanted to do. I didn't care what you said about them. Didn't make me no difference. They were my friends. All these guys, I got to meet people that I probably would have never met. I wouldn't have met no Reverend Julius Cheeks and played behind him. I wouldn't have met none of these Reverend Claude Jeter and played behind. These are Dorothy Norwood. These are people that I got to play for and was a part of them. Bill Moss and the Celestials. Whenever I used to see Jay Moss at the Stellars or something, I said, man, where Mama? He said, she here? I go there. I said, you don't know who this is, do you? She said, who don't know who this is, Michael? I hug her, kiss her, tell her, Miss Essie, I still love you. Ain't nothing changed. These folks were good to me, man. They were mamas and daddies to me, these people out here.
Man, I got to tell you of a moment of mine that you might have forgotten, but I never did forget it. It was 2017 at the GMWA, and I think they was trying to do something with y'all. They was move y'all. They kept moving y'all around in the lineup. So you had done had enough. You had told that lady. You said, "Look here, you was not about to local me. I ain't no local group. I need to."
I remember that.
You said, "Hey, y'all, whatever we gonna do, we need to go and do it." Now I said, "Man, Big Mike ain't want to be played with."
I take this serious. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And if I'm with I don't care if I'm with Roy. I'm with Roy. I'm a soldier. You know what I'm saying? I'm not. No, that whoever I'm with, I'm with you. And you're not going to do them any kind of way. Not with me around. You know, I'm one of the nicest guys. I'll give you the shirt off my back, but don't try to mistreat me.
Right.
You know, I just can't. I can't take the sun go all over me when you do that. You know.
Yes, sir. So, what all instruments do you play?
I play bass. I play drums. I play at your position, but I wouldn't. And you and nobody else ain't gonna get to hear that. Nobody will ever be able to say I heard him play or try to play. No, sir.
What about guitar? You play a little guitar?
Enough to. I tell you what. The first thing I used to fool folks. Me and Maurice used to fool folks and have churches in different cities ask us to come play for them. I said, "Ma'am, you don't want to do that." I just heard you. I said, "Ma'am, trust me." You know, first thing I learned how to play on the guitar was the violinaires. I'm gonna serve the Lord. I do, you know, I could do that, you know. But nothing to go with nobody. I wouldn't try to go on no stage with nobody. You short-handed for guitar, you're still short-handed.
You still short?
Yes, sir. No, sir.
But you know, all this time, I never knew you was from New York.
Yeah.
I never knew that.
Yeah.
I don't know why I thought you were from North Carolina.
No, my mom is from Jacksonville, Florida. My father is from Orangeburg and St. Matthews, Calhoun County. And I'm from, I was born in New York, in the Bronx.
Wow.
Yeah, born in the Bronx. That's where them knuckleheads of mine was born, in the Bronx. You know what I'm That's what I know. You on there, sophomore. You heard me, knuckleheads.
He's still here.
They're my boys. You know.
So what made you relocate down south?
After I got with the highway QCs.
Oh,
after I got with Spencer, because I was with the QCs until I got with Slim. When I left the QCs, I got with Slim, and I was in DC with them. After I got, and then I moved to Chesapeake, Virginia, Percy Griffin's home. I lived around the corner from his sister and them. And at that time, I would go, Slim would have rehearsal. He wanted them, like you hear about the Doc McKenzie rehearsals, we were doing them. We were doing it. We would rehearse. If we get in on Monday, we rehearse Monday evening, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, leave out Friday night or Saturday morning, go sing again. And this would go weeks at a time. And I would drive from Chesapeake every morning. I would leave at 9 to get the rehearsal by 12. Rehearsal started by 1. I drive all the way to Goldsboro, North Carolina. After rehearsal, drive all the way back to Virginia. So rehearsal ended by 8 o'clock. I don't get home till about 11. And I did that for a while until one day Slim called me. It was snowing. It was a blizzard. And Slim called me about 7 o'clock in the morning. I said, hello. He said, Michael. I said, yeah. He said, man, I forgot. We got to sing in Middlesboro, Georgia tonight. I said, Rev. I said, but he was Slim. That's a Slim. I said, Georgia? I said, there's a blizzard out here. I said, all right. He said, Mike, we got to go. I said, all right, I'll be there. I messed around and wrecked my car in a Hosky, North Carolina on the way there to meet him.
Wow.
Total lost it. So I called him. And I said, Slim, I ain't going to be able to make it. I said, I just wrecked my car. You know what he said? Oh, man, I didn't call you and tell you the program was canceled. I done tore my car up. Didn't have to drive. Didn't have to leave home from my warm house. Now my car total loss. Total, I mean, destroyed. And he going to tell me, I forgot to call you and tell you the program was canceled.
Man.
So I made up my mind then. I said, now, if I'm going to stay, I'm gonna have to eventually move to North Carolina. I said, because I can't do this rehearsing back and forth. I was spending all my split was going in gas. You know what I'm saying? I said, I can't keep doing this. And when I first got with Slim, it was so bad to I got the first year I joined Slim, I got a fine every weekend. If we did 3 shows, I got 3 fines. Every show we did, if I made one mistake on the bass, when we got to the bus, he said, I heard that. He said, that's $100. And I said, man. So I told Scott, after about a year, I said, Scott, I said, this is it for me. I said, I'm not doing it another day, man. I said, when this man I even taught driving my other car, my alternator went out. Swanee's and us and all of us were in North Carolina singing. All of them at the record table. Big Red, Charlie, Slim, all of them. Willis Pittman, all of them. I walk up with dirty as I could be from fixing the alternator with the alternator in my hand. He said to me, you can put that back in your car. You got a fine, mister. I said, fine. He said, man, I got a ride for y'all to get around in. That's you want to drive everywhere. $100 fine, and I got the alternator in my hand, the spin for alternator. So I told Scott, I said, this is it, man. Scott said, and the only thing saved me, Scott said, Mike, he said, don't leave. He said, if Slim didn't see something in you, he wouldn't say nothing to you on stage, because that's the way he was. If you couldn't play or he think you had the ability, he just let you peel along till he gets sick of it. Then he send you home, you know. He said, but he find you every night. He said, because he see that you can get this. And then little did I know, because of him doing that, I got to learn them songs perfect. You know what I'm saying? I had got Mike, you play every note that's on the record. That's where I learned it, because I didn't want them fines no more. You know what I'm saying? I was sick of them fines, man. I mean,
there was some hefty fines too.
I'm talking about $100, $200, whatever you split. And if you didn't get but 2, you didn't get a dime. He'll be on stage and do his hand like this. When he do that means you got a fine. And you're gonna pay that day. Like he said, I pay you, so I know I can get it from the top.
So I heard, is it true that he would find y'all and then split it up amongst the group members?
Yeah.
Was that true?
Oh yeah. Tell you something else he did. He was the first group other than the Williams brothers I saw do this. The first one. When we were off, we all got a check. When you come to him every Friday, he gave you a check, a half a split.
What?
If he said we ain't singing this weekend, you just go. You come over Friday and get your check.
Wow, that's business.
The Williams brothers, they were doing it. He was doing it. He was the first one I saw, other than the Williams brothers. Anybody that ever been with us will tell you, when you joined Slim, you had an apartment. If you joined us tomorrow, when you got to the house, you had a 3-bedroom apartment, fully furnished. He would take you after about 2 weeks and get you a car. Anybody ever been with me that's on here tell you that. He would go get you a car, keep the title till you pay it off. And he wouldn't charge you much. He might charge you $100 for the car a week. I mean, every 2 weeks. So it's $200 a month. You know what I'm saying? But you're making it every weekend, so he just get it from the top. When the car was paid for, he didn't cheat you. He come and hand you the title. It's your car now. You know, you had a ride, and I've had guys join us and go to the phone, Mama, I got my own apartment. Mama, you need to see it. That's where he was, because we had, on the block we lived on, we had 3 houses. And they were all turned into apartments. So everybody in the group had their own apartment, you know, and then he lived across town. But on that same block, we were lined up 3 houses. We'd come out on the porch and speak to each other on the porch, you know, like, what's up, man? Hey, man, what's going on? I go sit with Sugar. He'd come over and sit with me, you know, stuff like that. But Rev was a businessman. He was the first man I seen out here. And it's not bragging because it was just his business sense. Slim was the first man I seen that had 4 or 5 buses in the yard at the same time. We would pull up the shows in 3 buses in the ballparks.
Yeah.
Anybody's on here that was around there to tell you he ain't lying. We would pull up. It'd be me, Sugar, be the band on the bus that say Slim and the Supreme Angels. On the bus that say Supreme Angels, it'd be nobody but Scott, Greg, and Tommy Seymour. And on the bus say Slim, it'd be Slim and his family, his wife, his kids, and his sisters and brothers and stuff. And they'd be like, Michael, they'd be like, look at this, Slim pulling up in 3 buses. I'll never forget, we blew up a motor in the bus called Slim. It had the Slim on it in New Jersey. So we were going from Newark, New Jersey to Atlantic City. And Tommy Ellison and them were like, all the groups were like, man, y'all can ride with us, blah, blah, blah. So Slim said, we'll be all right. I was sitting in the diner that morning by 8 o'clock with Tommy Ellison eating. He said, he was facing me. And he looked out the window. He said, man, that's heavy. I didn't know what he was talking about. He said, man, that is heavy, man. I said, what you say? He said, man, you jokers blew a motor up last night. Here come another bus in the yard with your name on it. If he was living, he'd tell you that. Rev called his sister, told her, said, go in my account, take out the money, whatever money he gave, told her to take, said, and get Chris Brown, who was one of his drivers, said, and have him bring the bus up here. He drove all night. Before they checked out the hotel, we was in the other bus going with them to the show. He was a businessman. I got to give he was the first man I was sung with that had us taking our taxes. We had accountants taking our taxes on our money. He was the first one I seen do that with me. He was the first one that told me, Michael, if you don't ever sing with me again, do me a favor, get your heart right with God. I've had a lot of them tell me how much they wanted me with them because of my talent, but this is the first man told me he was concerned about my heart, you know, and how I was living. Yeah, he was the first one I seen. He stopped us, but me and Greg messed it up. You know, I'm transparent, so I ain't gonna tell you. Back then, we would do things we had no business doing and bring people on the bus we had no business bringing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it would sometimes be like every week, different somebody's, right? Rev came up with a new rule. We got the bus with it. Rev had a new rule. Rev said, if they ain't your wife, they can't ride. He said, and no more smoking on this bus. It messed it up because at that time wasn't nobody married but me and Slim. So I could bring my wife. The rest of the guys couldn't bring nobody, you know.
Right.
And they were sick of Greg. I'm sick of Rev, man. I said, we're gonna tell him he up front. We're gonna tell him, you know. Yeah, that was just the way he was, but he would do anything for you. Could call him, I could say, Rev. I said, man, I need $300 to pay my light bill. He said, come get it. Now he'd say something smart first. Man, I look like I'm your bank. And I said, there you go, Ray. Man, come get it. And I go, hand it to me. I said, Rev, I'll pay you back next week. He said, you ain't got to worry about that. I'll pay you, remember? You know, he was something. Right. I've seen Slim. I won't call none of the group's names, but I've seen groups break down. And Rev hand Greg $500 or $600 to take the other bus, go pick them up, carry them on their tour. When they tours up, take them home. Said, don't ask them for a dime. And we've done that many a time for other groups, many a time. They go to show, you know, we've done it for the Wayans brothers. God, and they were like brothers to us. Their bus broke down. Rev said, go down there and get them, take them on their tour. They was on tour for about a week. Rev said, you better not ask them for a dime neither, man. He give Greg the money to handle all the expenses, the gas, and fuel and all that. He was a businessman. He was just, he ran it like he always said. He said, I pay y'all too well. He said, y'all get mad. A lot of guys used to tell me, Mike, I quit because I couldn't take the way how he was hateful like he was. He said, but I can't never tell nobody he didn't pay well. Because see, we had a system. With us, we paid by 10%. So if we got 5,000, you knew you were getting 500. It wasn't no thing, man, we got to take out for insurance. Or man, we got Rev pay for all our suits. Rev pay for our equipment. Rev would say, Mike, I'm sick of that bass, that ugly sounding bass. We'll stop in Augusta at the music store and go right inside, and he'd come out, he'd go in and say, pick you out. I pick one, he paid for it, and I take it out. He paid for everything. Our uniforms, everything. People used to ask me, how much your buses cost? I said, I don't know. I said, Rev paid for it. And he was one of them kind of guys, if he brought a bus in December, by March, he gonna show you the title. Mike, this bus paid for. I said, Rev, this bus ain't paid for. He said, I ain't got to lie to you. He'll pull out the title. I said, Rev, you a bad man. I gave him that credit. I said, he wasn't the best singer in the world, but he was the best businessman in the world for Quartet. I can give him that. I can give him that. Nephew, you remember nephew Curtis Frankman?
Oh, yeah.
Nephew was with us carrying equipment.
Yeah.
Nephew was walking around we be on the Clouds anniversary tour. Nephew be walking the restaurant around Joe Logano and them and pull out about $900, maybe $1,000. Joe, don't pay me no attention. I'm just a valet for Slim. You know? And Rev would call and say, hey, man, come here. Leave Joe Logano alone. Okay. We get to the show. He'll be talking and see Joe coming down the aisle with his records, the announcer. He'll get in the mic and say something smart like, go ahead, Joe. I'm like you. I can close behind anybody.
Nephew was crazy, man.
Nephew was crazy, man. But Tommy Ellison came to Slim, said, Slim, y'all spoiling that boy. He said, you're spoiling him. He said, buy him. He said, buy that joker a jumpsuit and put on the back valet. Because see, at that time, Nephew asked Rev, he said, Rev, can I dress like y'all on stage? Rev said, it's your money. So whatever we brought a suit, Nephew buy a suit, and you knew what we was gonna wear because when he come out before us to fix the mics, he'd have on maybe a Russ suit, or you said Slim and wear Russ tonight. He'd be dressed. That's the way Nephew was when he was with us, man. He was like that, and he was just Nephew was a crazy joker, man. He would say, hey, he probably would have still been with us, but we was on the Clouds Annie, and Richard was looking for the equipment from our bus. We were using our equipment. He said, man, where Nephew, man? So he's gonna bring the equipment in. So he on the bus dressing with me and Rev. So Rev said, Nephew, they calling you. He said, I told him where the equipment was. He didn't budge. When he said that, Rev said, y'all can pay him. He not getting a dime on my money tonight. Not a dime. That was where he was. He was just like that. Rev was he was a Rev. You know, Slim was something. But he stuck up for his group, man. He stuck up for his group wholeheartedly. He didn't care. You wanted to piss him off, mess with his group. You had a problem. That was just the way he was, man. And that's the only way that I still don't know how to pay my guys, but the one way, the 10%. You know what I'm saying? I still don't know how to do it no other way. If we go out and get 25, you get 250. If we get 300 tonight, you got 300. Add that up, that's 550 you'd have made. You know, however. So I don't know. I look like that. If you pay a man 10%, he know what he getting. You don't want to hear, man, we didn't get it all tonight. Oh man, they short us. Oh man, we gotta get the van fixed. Or I used to always tell him, I used to tell him all the time, I say, this group got your name in front. This group is named Richard Brown and the Heavenly Echoes. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You get all the glory when it comes to this group. So you the one need to get all the story. Not me. You have a fit, you working at IBM or some factory somewhere, and they come Friday, we're not going to be able to pay y'all because we didn't make quota this week. That's on y'all. You know what I'm saying? I need my check. You know, and Slim used to always say, he said, Mike, he said, show me a group that keep in and out with guys. I should a group don't pay the guys. Because if you paying them, they ain't going nowhere.
They're going to be right there.
They're going to be there if you're paying them, but if you look every time, look, they got new guys. That should be telling you something. Yeah, I'm just transparent, and I'm just a straight up guy. I speak my mind. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I don't hurt nobody, and I don't call names. I don't interfere. You don't hear my name in no stuff. I don't do none of that. I don't make comments on people's page about what's going on. That I stay out of that. But the truth is the light. You know what I'm saying? You pay your guys, man. I tell any group that pay your man if you want them to stay with you. Pay them. You know, if it was up to me, sophomore wouldn't have been on the road.
Really?
What? Wouldn't have been on the road. His mama called me when I was on the road. She said, Anthony wants to go on the road. What you think? I said, leave him home. She said, what? I said, leave him home. I said, Anthony, his mentality, he ain't ready for this. At that time, he was wild, sure enough. I said, leave him home. So, and he'll tell you, when he came, I called one week and I said, where Anthony? Oh, he with Darrell and them. So we got somewhere and I saw them. I called him and Tron to the side. I said, y'all know Daddy love y'all. I said, Daddy give you anything he got. I said, but when y'all chose to join Darrell, y'all chose to be men. I said, you can't call Daddy on the road talking about send me something. Darrell got the fend for y'all. Don't call me about no, well, I'm in Chicago. Can you send me something? You with a group. You with 7, 8 guys. They got the fend for you, not me. Call me when you're home and say your lights out or something. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's where I've been. They tell you that's where I'm with them right now. They don't ever ask me for nothing. I give them whatever they want, but they know, no, you ain't getting ready to do that. You chose to be, when you come out here, this is a man's world. This is a real world, what we do.
Oh, yeah.
This is real. There ain't nothing about this soft, nothing. This is real out here. We sleep. We riding when people are asleep in the middle of the night. You know what I'm saying? We riding. We trying to get to the next, place, next city or town or whatever. Ain't nothing, man. This it take a real man to do this.
I'm trying to tell you, we just make it look easy, but
it ain't. It ain't easy. It ain't easy, man. It ain't easy at all. But I love it, and I look at it like this: the older cats, the Slims, the Blairs, the people like that the older cats. These guys come off of farms. Slim was on a farm in the Delta with a 3rd grade education. This saved a lot of guys' lives. You know what I'm saying? Give them something to do beside the farm. You know what I'm saying? Right. When during slavery time, Ira Tucker said he didn't want to go with the birds. Said his mama told him, said, you going. Said, if you don't, these white folks going to kill you. You know what I'm saying? Some of these guys, like I said, Slim with a 3rd grade education, he always used to tell us, he said, I got a 3rd grade education. He said, but I can count money better than all of y'all. And he could. We stand there with a pen trying to figure out what everything. He asked us, Mike, so-and-so and so-and-so, how much is that? We started, he'd say, man, that's so-and-so, man. Off the top of his head, So these guys, man, like I said, these guys, that's why I admire you young cats, man. I admire, because people always ask me, Michael, is Quartet in a good place? I tell them, yes, sir. We got some of the best young groups that a man could have out here in Quartet. Yeah, I'm talking the Roys, the Legends, the Chubb Martins, some of all of these people. These people are carrying it to another level. The Lisa Knowles, the Anthony Moores, and Man of Praise. These people are taking it to another level. And it's not saying we can't do what we do. They not telling us get out the way, but you got to understand. Them older groups before Slim and the Clouds and the Volunteers, they slid over so those groups could come in.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The Fairfield Four and all these groups, Pilgrim Travelers, Soul Stirrers, they moved over so Slims and the Volunteers and them could come along. It was a new generation. It's a new generation now. You know what I'm saying? That don't take nothing from us. You can't, like I always tell people, we're not a threat to them, and they shouldn't be a threat to us. You know what I'm saying? Because whatever legacy I got, they can't take that from me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I've been to the Grammys. I've sung in some of everywhere, the biggest places they could be. You know what I'm saying? You can't go no higher than the Grammys. I was nominated, got it on my wall in the house. Maybe about 13 or 14 plaques in my house on the wall. Trophies, about 10 or 12 of them in my house. You know what I'm saying? So that's my legacy. I'm not a threat to these groups, and they're not a threat to me. They don't need getting mad with these new groups because they can sing better. They can play music better. They more advanced. Michael Jordan and them came along and was better than Walt Frazier and people like that. Just like LeBron and them, KD and them came along and better than that generation of the Jordans and Pippins and them.
It's evolution.
But everything moves. Everything is steady moving. These guys are learning how to play better bass guitars, better keyboards, better drums. And I admire all of y'all, man. I love all of y'all. And I don't ever talk down about y'all, ever, and never will. And I don't let nobody else talk down about y'all.
The only differences I see now from back then, it was like, I ain't gonna say more sincere, but it was like the older generation really, really grinded for what they wanted. And it's like, yeah, it really paid off because y'all had hits and everything. And it's like,
so you got to look at that. We had radio and stuff back then, record companies.
Right.
Only thing that I say that social media saved a lot of groups. The newer groups, because without social media, we still wouldn't know who some of these groups is.
You're right.
Nobody in Chicago, California wouldn't know who so-and-so is over here. Social media made it happen. Our way was out. Our out was record companies. You know what I'm saying? radio stations. That ain't popular no more. You know, so social media, and I don't ever get smart with nobody, but when a group get big beside itself with me, I let them know. I said, without Facebook and social media, we wouldn't even know you, man. And it's the truth.
Yeah.
And it's the truth.
Social media, it's a gift and a curse.
Yeah, it's both. It's both. It's a curse when we take it there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because some things need to stay off of social media, man.
Yeah.
Some things need to stay off of there. But it's a blessing because somebody way in California, China, Russia, whatever, can hear your group. You know, and I looked at Chubbs getting ready to go to Hawaii. Right. That's a blessing. That's a blessing. Think about it. If he get there and do well, that'll open the door for somebody else. Then
somebody through the door. That's all.
I want to see who else, these other quartets, what they sounded like. So they reach back and pull out some more groups. You know what I'm saying? Roy done opened a lot of doors. Lord knows the legends have opened a lot of doors. You know what I'm saying? These groups have done it. You know, but like I said, the groups like the older groups, we had a clique. We were a clique too. Like they always say, y'all got a clique. We had a clique too. Because Banks and Slim were best of friends. Best of friends. I mean, they would cuss each other out, so to speak. Wouldn't talk for 2 or 3 weeks. And I've been there when they get on the phone and finally speak again, and both of them crying on the phone. Brother, how would you talk to me? The bag sounded like when you talk to me. I said, tap sugar. I said, these grown men crying, man. I mean, it amazed me, but they were best friends. When we get to them shows, back then, if a promoter said, Banks, y'all go and get dressed. I'm not paying Slim tonight. Slim said he ain't singing. Banks said, well, I ain't singing neither. You had to pay Slim. Everybody in the package had to get their money or we wasn't singing. I don't care if it was the Angelics. Well, Slim is just the Angelics. You paid them their money, or none of us ain't singing. Volunteers, none of us. We would all strike on you. You couldn't go to him and say, man, I got your money. See, now they can come to these groups. Man, so-and-so, we ain't going. Roy and them said they not singing. Man, I give you a little extra. Come on and sing, man. And you'll say, forget Roy. Back then, we said, nah, you got to pay Roy too, or none of us singing. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we did. We carried groups with us around, Willard Pittman and them. We carried them around, took them with us around the country. You know what I'm saying? And but they had a thing back then. Like when Willard Pittman first came in the package, they told them they would take them all over the country with them, but for half a split. So whatever the other groups got, you got half of that. Mm. You know, if you want to make it out here, you accept that to get where you got to go, you know. It took them places, but it just, the love was different, you know. We had little signals now that we used to use. You know about the signals, some of the signals? Everybody know it now.
Right.
Guy come out here yesterday and he know the signals. You know, I used to get on sophomore about it. I used to tell him, I used to tell him and Darrell and them, I said, y'all did this. I said, y'all taught all your friends all the little passwords and the little door knocks. You know what I'm saying? Right. Now everybody know. They walk up, pop, pop, like they, you know. I said, ain't nothing sacred no more.
It was almost like Quartet used to be almost like a fraternity.
That's what it was. That's what it was. I couldn't walk in with you and they didn't know you. Mike, who is that? Man, you got to send them out, man. You know what I'm saying? Now everybody know your business. We all, back then they did wrong too. Don't get me wrong. Right. They did wrong too. But you didn't get to see it if you wasn't in that fraternity. Ain't going by what you heard. It's a lot of guys now talk about what the older groups did and they wasn't in it. So how they know? They heard it from somebody else. Man, they did this. When they were coming up, they did this. They did. How you know? You wasn't there. But they'll act like they've been all over the road with us and they know about it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So my thing is, you know, like I said, Quartet is in good hands, man. It's in good hands. Only thing can destroy what this called Quartet is quartetters. Right. It's the only people who can destroy it. We get carried away or get the big head, because trust me, God will bring you down, man. He'll bring you down. He will bring you down. And you'll be looking, and then you'll be sitting there like I'm sitting with my hand on my face. and you realize, I know what I did wrong. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
I tell guys, pay your tithes. You know, give the God bless y'all to go around the country, make money, give him his part back. Pay your tithes. I pay my tithes every week. Join a church. I'm in a church. I play for a church. Play for the male chorus and the choirs.
Mm.
You know, when you ain't singing, be in somebody's church. Get under covering, man.
Right.
You got to get under covering. You know, back in the day, the older groups, a lot of them, when they went to church was when they sang in one. You know, and that ain't cool. That ain't cool, man. I'll tell people, I said, if God can give you life, health, and strength, you can't give him an hour and a half of your time in church, man. Suppose he did us that way, Richard. Suppose we said, Lord, I need a miracle. I need a blessing. And he just look at you, so, Richard, I ain't doing miracles this week.
Man, we'll be in a world of trouble.
World of trouble. But he don't ever tell us that. But we can't sit an hour and a half in church and give God the time. And I always tell people, I said, just like you make your kids go to school so they can learn, you don't let them say I'm staying out. Same thing there. Make them go to church so they can learn about Jesus.
Right.
You know, because if you don't care, how they gonna get there, man?
They ain't.
How they can't get there? You know, the older I get, the more I love Jesus, man, because I know that one day I'm not gonna be here, man. I love spending time with my great grandkids. I got 6 of them. Oh man, they think I'm the greatest thing since peanut butter and jelly, man. Because I don't ever, you know, they call me, Papa, can we come over? I said, you know you can. I said, why you asking me that? Because I would tell them, their mama said, Michael, why you? I said, let me tell you something. I said, one day I'm not going to be here. I don't want them to ever say they can remember me telling them no, they can't come over.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I love my great-grands. I love my grands. I got my grands, sophomore, them kids, I love them to death. You know, we talk all the time. I'm in their lives. You know, I love my kids. You know, I love them all. You know, sophomore make me proud when he ain't on his kick. You know what I'm saying? Tron makes me proud. You know, I love him. We talk all the time. You know, and I try to do one thing I do, Richard, wherever I go, whenever I meet somebody, I try not to walk away from anybody, old, young, or whatever, without telling them I love them. It don't hurt to tell them you love them, man. I tell everybody, Mama, I love you. I love you too, baby. You know, love is something we ought to give away. You know, I ain't mean to talk your head off, man.
Oh no, you good. This is your day.
I mean to talk your head off. It's just I love what I'm doing. I love this quartet, man, and I'm diehard quartet. I'm for this wholeheartedly. If I'm standing around and hear the older groups talking about the young groups, I walk away from that conversation.
Yeah.
I walk away. I just eat. You look up where Mike go, I'm gone. I'm not getting in that conversation, man. For the simple fact, these young groups is our future. If they weren't doing what they do, we're gonna die one day. And if all of us older cats die and they didn't keep it going, what was gonna happen to quartet? It was gonna die. But they keep it and they're doing it well. These cats learned the right way. They learned. They watched some older cats when they were growing up and learned. They busting houses, as they call it. Young folk call it busting houses. They doing all that, man. They doing all that. I look at Roy. Roy, one of the smartest lead singers out here, by far.
Yeah, he is.
People don't give him his credit. Roy is a genius when it comes to this because Roy he cut from the cloth of the Slim, the Willie Neals, and them. Mm-hmm. It's more to it than just getting on stage singing. You got to be a thinker too.
You got to be.
Because if you're a thinker, you can get out of any situation on that stage.
Right. We definitely have been in some jams, and I don't know.
But he get out. But he get out.
Yeah. Like we
Alan Pringle. Alan Pringle's another one. Oh, like I said, Chubb Morton, Flossie Boyd, all these people. You know, Flossie and me, I've been knowing Flossie before she thought about singing a quartet. You know, because I remember it was a girl liking me years ago in Orangeburg, South Carolina, and me and Flossie laugh about it now. And I wanted the girl to leave me alone. She would always come to the program. So I said, Flossie, I said, come here. I said, do me a favor. She wasn't even thinking about singing. I said, would you go over there and tell that woman that you my woman? So she stopped. Right? So Flossie said, okay. So we walked over to, I said, Flossie, I said, tell this woman who you are to me. She said, I'm your man. And we talked about the all. I see her now. I said, and she said, oh Lord. She was so hurt because she said it wrong. And right now today, I can walk up to her. I said, Flossie, who are you to me? She said, your man. That was years ago. I'm talking about 30 years ago. And we, like I said, these people that I never thought Flossie would be what she is in the quartet field. But see, God had more than what I saw.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I look at all of these young groups come, these glorifieds, and oh man, tell me so. There's some singing young folks out here, man. Some singing young folks.
It is.
Look how the sellout for the Allen anniversary Saturday. That was mostly younger folks, younger groups. Right. But it packed it out. What'd that tell you?
Yep, the fire marshal came through and he was like, no more people.
Okay, I know about that fire marshal. We used to have shows and we'd have to tell the people outside, if y'all stay out here an hour and a half, we'll be out. We were running this, each group sing 3 songs apiece, come out of there and let the other people come in and be packed twice. We done that so many times. Have 2 shows, jam-packed both of them.
Did y'all do a lot of Sunday morning services back in the day?
Oh yeah, because Slim was Church of God in Christ.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
So see, he was under them. See, when I didn't do much of that when we was Spencer, we go out and do some, or some of the other groups, Blind Boys, Dorothy Noah, and we did concerts, like concert.
Right.
But Slim would have us going to church. He would be on the bus riding, and Sugar said, "Oh Lord," like that. He come down. I look behind him. He come down the aisle with the Bible. He'll sit in front of us, and now for about an hour and a half on the bus, we got Bible study, whether we want it or not. And that's all Sugar said, "Oh Lord." He'll say, "What you think, Sugar?" Sugar said, "I don't know." He said, "See what I'm saying, man? You don't ever have an opinion." He said, "Red, why would I give you my opinion? You're gonna do what you want to do anyway." He was something else.
Okay, so let's talk about. I'm gonna skip around a little bit. Then I'm gonna go back. So
okay.
we're gonna.
Okay.
So what was it like when you found out that Reverend Hunt passed?
Oh man, I was home. We left Houston. Your other lead singer, Keith, saved us. We left the workshop in Birmingham. George Stewart. And we sung there, Us the Jews and Lemmy Battle. Had a special night for us 3. We left there going to Dallas, Texas, and Houston. On the Rev was fine. Slim was fine. Mm-hmm. On the way, when we got before the sun come up, he said, "Mike," because we kind of knew he had cancer. Because I knew the symptoms, like the scales around the neck, neckline, all that. And Quincy was asking, said, "Slim, what did you got? What's going on?" He said, "Just put it like this. I got the cousin to cancer." Quincy said, "What's the cousin to cancer, Slim?" He didn't want us to know. People told us, "Mike, he was in chemo 3 or 4 years, so he didn't want y'all to know." He always told us later on that he was afraid we were going to walk away from him when we found out he was sick, which we would have never done that to him, man. He was too good to us. But anyway, he was riding, and we riding, and he said, "Mike, I'm so sick." I said, "Rev, you were fine last night." He said, "Mike, I ain't never been this sick." He couldn't hardly talk. He was hurting. He said, "Out of clear blue sky," which I've done it before. I've done it maybe 6 or 7 times, Orangeburg, different places. He said, "Mike, you got to sing lead when we get to Dallas." I said, "Oh, no." I said, "Don't start that, Rev." He said, "Mike, you got that." I said, "Rev, if I was home and you told me this and I was practicing, that's a different thing." I said, "You're not going to throw this on me, Rev, and the show was this morning." I said, "Oh, no, Rev. No, sir." He said, "Mike, you done it a bunch of times. You can do it." Because he would have me say, he said, "Mike," he tell me we get this show. He said, "Mike, I can't go because I got to preach." He said, "You do well done." He would give me the song that he sung to do. Mm-hmm. And I would do them. Greg would do his song, and Scott would do his. So anyway, I said, "No, sir, Rev." And I'm going to show you how God worked. We got the Dallas, had Sugar and them laughing on the bus. I said, "Mike, you going to do it tonight, and you better work." I said, "Man, y'all shut up. I'm not doing nothing." So we get the Dallas, the first show. First person I see when I go in the building, when we pull up, is your ex, rest in peace, manager, Keith. I see Keith. I said, "Keith, come here." Because people didn't know it. Keith and Darrell and me are family. Right. So I said, "Keith, come here." He said, "What?" I said, "Hey, man." I said, wait right here. And I ran to the bus. I said, Rev, Keith here. He said, tell Keith to come in. Went to the bus. Keith said, yeah, Rev. He said, Keith. He said, you got to say leave. He was so sick. Rev said, he was like, Keith was like, Rev, you need to go to the hospital. He said, nah, I'll be all right. Couldn't hardly talk or nothing. He was sick. That cancer was at the final stages. So he said, I'm going to walk on stage and sit on the piano and I'll introduce you to the public and you're going to sing. Keith was on the show. So he had to sing twice. We got there. He did. The Rev did that. Keith went through that house in Dallas with us. I mean, went through. He did his thing. You'd have thought he was with us for 40 years. We left there. Rev got some rest. We left there, got to Houston. Keith had to do it again. Rev was so sick when we got to Houston. Dal Martin went in the building and made an announcement. One know was any nurses there. So there's about 4 nurses that put a hand up. He had them come backstage. He asked them, he said, how much y'all make an hour? And the one that was a real experience, had been doing it for the longest, she said, I get $40 an hour. He said, I give you $60 an hour. He said, he said, I need you to miss this show. He said, and I need you to sit on the bus with Slim and feed him his medicine. So she stayed on the bus all night. I kept saying, Slim, you got to catch the flight home. We got to take you to the airport, Rev. I said, Rev, you sick, man, not knowing he dying. I said, Rev, you got to go. So he said, I'll be all right. I said, Rev, you taught us well, Rev. I said, we know how to fix this bus. We know Lorenzo know how to drive it. I said, we can do everything because you taught us well, man. Oh, yeah, but I'll ride the bus. So we came, he got him home, and he grabbed my head like this and squeezed it. When I went to the bathroom to get my back to get my stuff. I said, how you feel? He said, I ain't never been this sick. I said, Rev. I said, go straight to the doctor, man. I said, call Barbara, it's his wife. I said, have her meet you at the house, the group house where we park the buses. I said, don't go home, Rev. Go to the doctor. Yeah, I am. I said, I'm going to call and check on you. So he went. They kept him. That next day, I said, well, I'm going to see Rev. But I got there late. I left home late. And it was 8 o'clock when I got to Smithfield, North Carolina. It was 8 o'clock. So I checked in the hotel. Maurice went to see him. And when Maurice went to see him, his wife said, Slim, he was so weak. She said, Slim, you know who this is? He said, yeah. She said, who is this? He said, that's my drummer. Like that. So Maurice said, when he got ready to leave, Rev started crying and told him, said, don't leave, son. Please don't leave. He said, Mike, I always felt like Rev wanted to tell me something, but he didn't want to leave. So I called the hospital. I said, Barbara, I checked in the hotel. I'm 19 miles from Goldsboro. I said, I got here late. I said, I'm in a room. I said, I'll be there first thing in the morning, Barbara. She said, okay. That was on the 24th. The 25th morning. Now, mind you, my birthday is February 27th.
Right.
25th. I'm asleep. My phone rang about 4 o'clock at 4:30 in the morning. So I said, who is this? And I answered the phone. It's Sophomore. He said, you all right? I said, I was. I'm asleep, man. What? He said, you ain't heard? I said, heard what? He said, man, Slim died. I jumped up. I was so mad. All I do was wash my face. I didn't take no shower, nothing. I washed my face and jumped in my car and headed to the house. When I got there, Quincy and all of them was sitting around the house crying, everything, And they said he died that day. He died 2 days before my birthday. And that's why I always remember that day. And I never got to get that far as I got was to the hotel. And if I could have just made it earlier, to see him, but I didn't. I missed it. He died before I could get there that morning. And because he had just, before he got sick and before we went on the trip, he had me go with him. You always hear people on Facebook make them little comments like who had the most members in their group and who had this and that,
Right.
We went and made a plaque, right? About a week or two before he did that. He got sick and died. We went to the place, had a plaque made with all the members that he could remember that ever been here. There was a lot that he couldn't remember. Do you know on that plaque we had 97 members? 97.
Jesus.
97 members were Supreme Angels. Some we couldn't remember. He said he counted guys that came, stayed one day, stayed a week, whatever. If he considered you and made you an angel, we had a plaque made. He wanted a plaque. I said, Rev, you got the all-time list. I said, you, Doc McKenzie, and maybe one or two more got the all-time list. I said, Rev. He said, Mike, 97. He said, I can't remember. I said, that's enough, Rev. You know, that day we did that, we went the same day. I'm on the porch. He come back by. Hey, man, what you doing? I said, nothing. Come ride with me. He used to like to throw his weight around us, bragging to us about how good of a manager he is to us. I said, where you going? He said, I'm going to the bank. I said, man, I ain't going with you to your bank. He said, come on here, man. We go inside. The man doing all the figuring out stuff. The man come out and said, Slim, said in assets and money, so you worth $4.5 million.
What?
4.5 million. I'm there watching it. And Rev laughed. Rev said, you thought you would have a broke manager, didn't you? I said, I know better, Rev. Because Rev we would leave home. Rev would never leave home with under $30,000. He had a $30,000 account put up. And every time we leave on the weekend, he put the $30,000 in his pocket. And that was the case the bus blow up, or we had blown up buses on the desert going to California, and we sitting on the highway waiting for the people to come get it. He said, Mike, I said, yeah. He said, I believe I can fly all y'all home right now. I said, man, we know. Stop bragging. He said, I'm bragging. I believe I can fly y'all home right now. I said, Rev, I know, man. I said, I know. You know, we do like that. We pick out like that. But him and Richard Wallace, Cloud, and Banks, their pockets stayed full. All them three didn't leave home without $30,000 in their pocket. That was they had a thing. 30 grand. That was the cover of the group. Anything. That's why when promoters would talk, we went to show the and Rev knock on the door to get paid. And they say, Slim, I'll be with you in a minute. You see I'm doing business. Rev said, get my stuff off the stage right now. They come out, Slim, I'm ready. Rev said, we ain't saying, Slim, don't do this, man. Don't do this. They be begging Slim. We get out, get in the bus. Rev pay us full pay, like we sung, out of his pocket. Out of his pocket, man. Like I said, God blessed him. God blessed him, man. Made him a businessman. Like I said, he wasn't the best singer, and I never tell nobody he was the greatest singer, but he was a showman on the stage, and he was a businessman. We sung in Macon on the Jews anniversary. Never forget it. The Jews, no, Troy Raymond anniversary. Jews, all of us. Everybody done sung, but us and Banks. Troy come to Slim. We got to be out this building in 10 minutes. I said, Rev, what you going to do? Banks was going to close. Rev went up on stage and hit the Lord has blessed me. That's all. And did about 5 minutes of it, killed that house. We walked on stage, guys were running to it. Man, if I wasn't here, I wouldn't have believed it. Slim shut this show down with one song, man. He killed himself. One song. Rev, it got paid. They about to fight in the dressing room, all that behind that. Them groups, but man, we had some good times. I had some great. I used to ride. I never rode with Slim, but we toured together. If we were with the Violinaires, somebody, I was with the Violinaires. Anthony and them would ride. We'd be all. They were little. Anthony, sophomore, and sophomore was 6 months old. Tron was about 3. The McDonald's sisters, they probably here. They used to hold them on the side of the stage while we were singing. Sophomore was 6 years old, traveling the highway with us. And Tron was about 3. They were 3 years apart. McDonald's sisters were holding babies in their lap while we singing. They were calling me, Daddy, how far we got to go? I said, it's the Tyler, Texas. I said, we get ready to go to Oklahoma. Or we get ready to go to Mexico or something. I'm riding with the Violinaires. I said, no, you're not. Here come Tito or one of them, a shot. I got him. Don't worry about it. I got him. And so I started telling sophomore that Shot was his daddy. I said, Daddy, I ain't your daddy. Shot your daddy. So they knew everybody, and everybody was uncle to them. You know,
right.
They was nephew to everybody. They knew all the groups. I mean, you name them, they knew them. It was just a thing where this road, man, I got some guys used to tell me, Slim used to tell me, he said, Mike, you need to write a book. I said, Rev, I can't. I said, because if I write a book, I'm going to be the most hated man in Quartet. I said, I have to be. I know stories that would make your head pop while you're sitting there. I'm talking about good and bad.
I believe it.
Yeah, but I carried him to the grave with me.
Yeah.
I carried him to the grave. But they've all said, Mike, Mr. Bullard with Majestic, with MCG Records. He tried to hire me to work for the record company. And I said, why you want me? He said, Mike, he said, because you so smart, man. He said, you can keep our company afloat, man. He said, and he told me, he said, Mike, you never thought about writing a book? I said, Bullard. I said, they're going to be mad. I said, because I got to tell the dirt too. I got to tell everything. I can't just tell some if I'm gonna write a book. See, when you write a book and you don't tell everything, then that really ain't a book.
Right.
You tell them what you want them to know. In the real book, you tell everything. My bad, my good, all of it. You know what I'm saying? But I just couldn't do that. But I know so much stuff. I got to carry to my grave, man. I mean, on some of everybody. Because I was around it.
Right.
I was around it. I saw that. Yeah. I look at guys like Reverend Willingham. Used to come, would buy shoes, never hurt his feet. He coming. Hey, boy, ain't you 13 or 14? I said, yeah, he should take these shoes. He ain't even put them on yet. They hurt his feet. Brand new shoes. Give them to me at the hotel, all this. You know, all this kind of stuff, man. Or would come to me. Reverend Willingham come to me. He tickled me. Boy, you gonna feed your daddy today? I said, you got some money? I ain't talking about what I got. You ain't gonna look out for your daddy? I said, here, ham. I said, here you go. I give him a $30 or $40 to go eat. You keep the change. Next morning, I say, hey, Dad. I see him. I said, you gonna feed your son? I ain't got no kids look like you. So what you say? You heard me. I ain't got no kids look like you. Get out my face. I said, oh. I said, you gonna be mean to me and Scott? I said, I fed you last night. You shouldn't have did it. I ain't feeding you broke niggas. I said, oh, broke. That night, boy, come on, do your daddy right, boy. Boy, come on. I said, oh, you know how you was nasty last night? No, sir. Ed Johnson used to play drum for him. He told Ed, said, Ed wouldn't give him no money to eat. He told Ed, said, Ed, God just spoke to me. He tried to say Ed. He said, God told me if you don't feed me, you got 1 month. Ed said, well, that's funny. God told me you got 2 weeks. I mean, just crazy stuff like that, man. Just crazy. Jimmy Comer. Yeah, I know you heard of Jimmy Comer.
I have.
Southern Records and all that. And
right.
These were some characters, man. These were characters. And we said, so like when Scott died in Vegas, that like they killed me. 2 people, Slim and Scott, like they killed me when they died.
Wow.
Because we were singing in Vegas, and we were at a casino. And Scott, Rev never got to sing a song. Scott came out with God gonna separate the right from the wrong, and went to Try Jesus. When he finished Try Jesus, Scott used to have a thing where he walked past me and stand beside me out the way, and he'd wink at me like I just bust his house. So that day he winked at me. I said, nigga, you ain't done nothing. Right? And Slim went up and got the mic and was talking. He hadn't even hit a song yet. And I just heard him go, no. He just kept saying no. And we looking at him, I like, what are you talking about? Then he said, Greg, y'all take him outside. And I looked to see who y'all was. I mean, take him. I looked to see who him was. Scott was laying right beside me. I didn't even see him fall. The people on there said, Mike, you didn't see him fall? I didn't hear nothing, but he hit his head when he fell on the dolly that I had to kind of amp with. The stand-up dolly, the roll.
Right.
I never heard none of that. And his Slim cousin came and she cut his clothes off him, and he spit up in her mouth, like the life, the afterlife, relieving your body.
Right.
And we saw her bring it out of her mouth, and we knew he was gone. And they cut his clothes, and the paramedics. So I told Willie Johnson that he was playing keyboard. I said, Willie, I said, get my amp, man. I said, I'm going with Scott. Because me and Scott used to live together. We lived together till he died. So, and I would go to his home, he'd go to mine. I was like their family. And when the ambulance man got me put him in, I got to get it. He said, he said, can't nobody ride with him but family. I said, sir, I'm the closest family he got out here, man.
Right.
Just like that. And I jumped in the ambulance, and I'm sitting out there in the lobby waiting, and I see the 2, about 30 minutes later, the paramedics come out laughing. So I said, excuse me. He stopped. I said, can you tell me something about the guy that y'all brought in that I was with? He said, oh, your brother. He said, he didn't make it. And they kept walking. And that's the last I remember him saying he didn't make it. Slim and them found me. I had to walk 3 miles from the hospital, crying. They said when they found me, I was walking and just crying. Tears were running. They hadn't got there yet. It looked like Tupac had died. The whole casino, the people that was at our concert, it had to be about 300 or 400 people in the parking lot and in the hospital with our group. They all would pile up in it. And how they found me, who was it went after me? Slim cousin, husband. He riding around looking for me. He said I was about 3 miles down. He said I was in a daze, just crying, just waste of water was just running. I don't remember none of that. All I remember, the guy said he didn't make it. We went back to the house, and Slim said to the cousin house, Slim said, Mike, after they got situated, he said, you have to call everybody. He said, because you know everybody. Anybody that's something to Scott, you know him. I said, Rev, I'll try. Everybody I called his sister first. I said, Rosa, Scott died. She break down crying. I break down crying. I called about 10 people like that, and his cousin came out the room. She said, Slim, y'all going to kill this boy. She said, somebody else going to have to do this. She said, he can't, his heart ain't going to take all this crying every time. Because every time I tell somebody, they cried, mama and all them, and I would cry. And we had to stay out there. We stayed out there, and the man in Los Angeles told us, Slim, y'all here now. He said, come on out to the show, and we're going to make it a memorial. So we put his clothes and stuff in a chair, his microphone up and stuff like that. And we stayed there and went to that, because you couldn't take his body till they do autopsy in Vegas. They got to do the autopsy. So when they did it, we fought. And see what was funny about it, on the way to Vegas on the bus, we rode all the way there beside Batesville Casket. You know Batesville Casket, South Carolina?
Yes, mm-hmm.
We rode by it, and Scott kept saying, man, I wish this truck get around me, man. Why he riding by me? It was the casket coming. They were going, must be out west. And we stopped to eat or something. We get back on the highway. We see him again riding beside us. And that was like, that was an omen, that Scott was going to die. And we got to Montgomery about that Thursday. We got there. I'll never forget him, and I love him to death for that. The first guy we saw when we got to the hotel was Paul Porter. Paul Porter came and stayed with us till that Tuesday, to the funeral. Didn't move. And then the volunteers, different groups come. When they had the funeral at Walter Ellis Church and Pilgrim Rest in Alabama,
right?
Man, that the choir stand was loaded. I mean, with so many gospel singers, man. But that hurt me so bad with Scott there, because we lived together, man. And just before he walked on stage, we was getting dressed, and he was in the mirror doing his hair. And the Rev said, they ready for us. And I was going off the bus, and I said, Scott, I said, if you don't get out the way, man, I'm gonna knock you down. And he looked at me, he said, Howard, when we get home, check and make sure Michael got some insurance. He said, if he hit me, I'm going to kill that nigga. Just like that. That's the last thing Scott said to me in a clowning way that night. But man, I got some stories, boy. Some stories for you, man.
So I know you've been a part of 2 albums that I was particularly fond of. One being the Together As One, and then the other was the Soul Link album. What were those 2 albums like?
Oh man, the only thing I hate, and I go to my grave hating, they didn't put Together One, a CD, a DVD, video out.
Why did they never put the video out?
They just never did. They didn't never do one. They never even did one. And you got the Clouds, the Williams Brothers, us, because that's who's on the picture. You got Dorothy Norwood, you got the Cantons, and you got the Keynotes, all on one show.
Right.
But it featured around the 3 of us because we were part of James Bullard, the MCG, us, the Clouds,
right.
And then the brothers were part of it with their label. So I just hate that, everybody wish that they could have seen the video of it. You know what I'm saying? Because that was a night to remember. And that Soul Link.
Yeah, that Soul Link is one of my favorite quartet albums ever.
Man, we stayed there a whole week, man. We stayed at the hotel a whole week. We rehearsed every night. We rehearsed the gospel songs. Everybody finished the gospel set. Then you had to go rehearse like Blowing in the Wind and them type of songs. And I give the brothers credit. They smart as can be. They gave songs that fit you. They didn't put you out of your realm. They gave you My Sweet Lord, Hallelujah. And they gave them a reason, Blowing the Wind, and everybody had them songs the same, but they picked the song that fit your group style. And that was the night to remember. It was packed out. It was at the place was called Soul Link. And it was downtown Atlanta. It was jam-packed, man. That was the time. See, the brothers were always our producer. And the companies we always got mad because the brothers, Doug and Melvin, were charging $50,000 a piece to produce you. And Slim wouldn't record unless you got them. So that means with whoever company we with, you got to get $100,000 for them.
Yeah.
Plus, Slim always had in the contract, each one of us got $3,000 each recording. Everybody's Supreme Angels. When they finish the recording, they hand you a check, $3,000 a piece. If we did 2 albums that year, they gave us $6,000 that year. You know what I'm saying? That matter of fact, when Slim died, Quincy and us did an album by ourselves.
Right.
We made them pay that. They're like, yeah, we down us to hear that. No, sir. Everything got to be the same.
Right.
Everything. We still got to get that. But it was just I used to love, but my greatest thing that I loved about Esther Wooten, she got us in all of them. They had a thing called the Jubilee Jam every year in Jackson, Mississippi. Well, it'd be at least 500,000 people out there every year. And the white folks would come up to Slim and say, Slim, it'd be no white folks at the festival at all. When we walk, if they said we came at 6 o'clock at the evening, it'd be jammed with white folks. And if you look at some of the videos from them days, when we was on that stage with them little light suits on and stuff in Jackson, Mississippi, it never white folks mostly around there. They told Slim, we actually look in the newspaper to see what time y'all coming on. They used to wipe Sugar's shoes while he playing the solos on the stage. They stand up wiping his shoes and cleaning the shoe dust off his shoes. And that festival Esther put us on, we was on it every year. We'd be on it one year with Little Richard, Three Dog Night, The Temptations. We'd have been with all the big stars over in the other field. They'd be on the same big stage. We'd be on the big stage with all of them. You know, so like I said, we done something. I remember Little Richard got on the elevator with us and put his hand up to the door. And looked at me. I said, I said, what you mean, Yeah. Tell us. Then go tell me. When I said, what you mean, honey, hush. Hush. So I said, I'm a hush, all right. So he got off the elevator. Rev said, oh, you know what it was. Don't try to act funny. Rev said, you ain't going to take one for the group? I said, I ain't taking one for you and nobody else. One for the group. I said, man, you got to be kidding, man. He put his hand on the door, One time we was at the festival there, and the stage blew down for the storm. And you know the group High Five, the R&B group?
Yeah, that's one of my favorite groups.
They couldn't get in the hotel. The people didn't know them, right? Now they already checked in. They said, hey, my man, could y'all tell them who we are? I said, that's the R&B group High Five. That man said, I don't care if they're high or low. They're not getting in here without no ID. Man, we'd had some fun out there with them guys, man. And them blues singers and stuff. Man, it's been some days. Like I said, when Johnny Taylor died, he was at a festival down there, the Jubilee Jam Festival, right? At the hotel. Me and Sugar was in the hotel with him. When we checked in, we went around his room. Hung out with him. Next thing we know, he was dead.
Wow.
We was in his room, though, hanging out with him. Al Green would come up. Sugar Hightower. Ain't seen Sugar in years, but he remembered him. Come running up. That's you, little Sugar. All of them. Man, yes, sir. People knew who we were. They knew us. They knew us. Clouds, we used to go on their tour. Clouds had some of the biggest tours there was. We would tour 3 weeks. Every night. We do 1 week would be Louisiana every night. Next week would be Mississippi every night. Next week would be Oklahoma every night. And we go to big arenas. Tutu's mama, she would even take a date on us at the big arena. I believe it was the Marriott or something in what's the name? That man on the Canton Spirituals video, live one, the live one, the first one. You remember that white guy, the kind of heavy set?
Yeah, right.
He met us first in Oklahoma City. We was all together, us the Cantons, on the Clouds tour.
Wow.
He fell in love with Harvey and them. Next, he followed them all wherever they were, he went. I mean, we had some times where, all down in Mississippi, weeks, and we'd work weeks at a time. I mean, weeks at a time. We would, at one time, with them Battle of the Giants, and Jeff knew anybody else on here, volunteer tell you. We'd work through the weeknights in stadiums, right? On percentage. On percentage, our splits would be 800 a man, 900 a man. On percentage. We would go and get, we had a thing we used to call buying next guy money. We'd buy your money from you.
I ain't never heard of that one.
Ask around, ask anybody about it. Just say at the older group. Said Mike told me, said they always do a thing called buying their money. We used to buy your money from you. That's right. Being them big arenas, I mean, on percentage, we was making that kind of money, man. Man, we go to Texas. We went to Dallas one year. I bought 5 hotel rooms. Luther Barnes, if he on here, he'll tell you he was there. I had a room on every floor. Why? I just did it. I don't know why. I guess I thought I was the Temptations or somebody. We were spending money like crazy, man.
But you was making it too.
Oh, man, I'm talking about. Ask around. Don't take my word. One thing I tell anybody, I said 2 things you can do with me when it comes to quartet. Ask around, or if you go ahead and find the lie to take the test, I'll take it. I guarantee you I'll take it. With flying colors.
Man.
Whatever I tell you to happen out here, trust me, it happened.
Do you think we could possibly do another Soul Link album? Do you think it's enough?
Yeah. You can do it with the young folks that's out here now. You sure can. You pick the right ones, go to a venue, and get the right investors in it, and you can do another Soul Link. The same thing. You almost did a Soul Link with Roy's project that he did with all the groups. Mm-hmm. About the legendary stuff.
Right.
That was a version of Soul Link.
Yeah, you're right.
Y'all just didn't do the R&B part.
Right.
You know, but it was a version. It was a version of it. That's why I said Roy's one of the smartest geniuses. I guarantee if you get Roy to handle it and get in front of it, y'all can do a Soul Link. Soul Link. I hope you hear that. That Soul Link we did was then like wrestling. Now, then, forever. Mm-hmm. That was then. Y'all can do a Soul Link now, forever. You know what I'm saying?
I like that. Especially when y'all did Love Train. That probably was the best song.
Oh man, oh yes, sir. I love
everybody came together.
I love that too. That was a nice one there. And see, they had a song for Lee. That song Pat sang, Lean on Me.
Yeah.
That was supposed to be for Lee. But Lee told us he had never heard it before. And Melvin Williams said, hold it. Said, Lee, you ain't never heard Lean on Me. He said, no, I ain't never heard that. And I said, well, it's possible, Melvin. You know, some people don't listen to that kind of music. But he had never heard it. So he gave it to Tommy and Patrick and him.
Right. Wow. But I know he did do What a Wonderful World.
Right. They killed it too.
Right.
Bullard didn't have Richard on playing those strings. He brought the orchestra.
The real deal, yeah.
He had the orchestra there in tuxedos and bow ties.
That's business, man.
They were spending money, man. Melvin, when he first put it together, we would go in the Terminal Studio where the brothers owned the studio down in Jackson. Mm-hmm. And we did the first week, all the rehearsal was done there. We all in one room, about 40 of us. And we run over the songs there and getting it together and stuff like that. Because Melvin, them some geniuses, man. They some geniuses. And they some writers. That song we do, Living in the Last Days, Doug wrote that.
Wow.
They some geniuses, man. They some geniuses. What they touch at that time turned to gold. What they touch turned to gold, man. Harvey and Rev were like this till Rev died. Harvey used to come to Rev's birthday party in Goldsboro. They have a birthday celebration. Mm-hmm. He'd buy Rev a suit and give him a card with $1,000 in it.
That sounds like Mr. Harvey.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
And then if you notice, he'll also tell that story that Rev wouldn't let him in the programs. Because see, certain groups like us and a few other groups would let them help us carry the equipment in the stage before they made it. They would carry the mics and stuff so they can get in free, backstage.
Yeah.
You know, and they would do that because every time we would go to Jackson, and we get to Jackson to the Coach Light Hotel at 4 o'clock in the morning, it'd be a van there. Rev, so who is that? And Greg said, that's Harvey coming to pick me up. See, because a lot of people don't know Greg sung with the Cantons.
I didn't know that.
He didn't stay long. You know, Greg sung. He sung with the Keynotes when Paul first left. Before Charles and them, Greg sung with the Blind Boys out of it. Greg does. The Clouds. Greg done sung with some good. See, people just know Greg as Supreme Angel. Greg done some things, you know, and Harvey would pick him up, and then he'd go and stay with Harvey and his wife, and stuff like that. But Harvey finally asked Rev when he said, Rev, he didn't ask when they got friends. He said, man, when we used to come to them shows, y'all would let everybody in the show, but you wouldn't let my guys in. And Rev, he said on stage, he said, Rev told him, said, because I didn't like you. And he said, man, what? He said, I didn't like you, man. He said, I could have got you in, but I wasn't. I didn't like you. And wouldn't let him in. Would tell the security he ain't on the program.
Wow.
Oh, man. I'm telling you what I know, man. We done had some time. Rev used to have a motto. I never forget, he told George Dean that. He might have told Harvey that when they first got their buses. Rev used to tell anybody that was getting a bus, Slim, you think I need to get a bus? Rev said, put it like this. A bus will get you an extra $1,500 to $2,000. And we were like, what? He said, if you making $2,000 now, you can get $4,000 with a bus. Because the promoter will pay you because he see you on a big bus. He figured you got to get your money. You know what I'm saying? And it was. He would tell them all. When George Dean got his bus, he told him, Slim, you think I should get it? He said, George, get the bus, man. He said, your money going up. George went and got a bus. Never forget. We was in Long Island, Hempstead, Long Island, when him and Rev talked about it. You know, that was Rev's thing. He would tell them, get a bus, man. And they started getting buses, and your money went up because promoter would pay you. You know, whatever it was. We used to ride 6 or 7 deep in buses. I mean, we'd be going to Howard like a convoy.
Yeah.
All in there, the Swanee, the Jews, the Keynotes, all of us in buses.
I remember Keith he would always tell me, Slim, I always try to get him to get a bus, but he was like,
sure did.
He said he just wouldn't do it.
I remember when Keith first came out here, him and Rev got into it at our anniversary. Keith come, it was on the anniversary. Rev gave Keith $1,000. Keith said, Slim, $1,000? That's my part. Man, I make more than that. Rev said, not tonight, Jay. So look, so Keith was on the bus and they were going at it. Rev said, get off my bus, man. And Keith said, huh? He said, you heard what I said, man. I'm not going to say it again. Get off my bus, man. After that, him and Keith became best of friends. But he said, he told me, I said, why you was mean with him that night? He said, because I didn't want him to get the big head. He said he had to earn that. And I said, wow. You know, it messed me up when he told me that. But yeah, he was, that's where Red was, you know. He was just like that, man. He was just, you couldn't do Rev any kind of way. You couldn't do it.
Wow.
Man, you couldn't do it to him. But like I said, I got so many stories. I got all the checkup gun stories, all that, everything. I just rather leave them alone. You know
yeah. Some things better left unsaid.
Left alone. Right? But I got the stories for you, man. Because I was never one of them guys. I don't know what it was. Even now, people tell me, say, Mike, the public out here treat you like you a lead singer and you just a bass player. I get as many awards as any lead singer.
Yeah.
I get honored as much as any lead singer. And I'm just a bass player.
But you a brand, though. That's the thing.
See, and I've always hung around the lead singers. You know, I've always hung around them and stuff like that. You know, I've always been around them. So I didn't hang with the other musicians. I hung around guys that I could learn something from. I wanted to learn. I didn't care nothing about we stand on the stage talking about, boy, he killing that bass, or he killing them drums, or he killing that keyboard. That didn't interest me. I wanted to know how to run a group, how to handle a group.
I'm just exact same way. Like them usually one man I talk to just like the different lead singers and people like that, because like you said, just trying to learn the business.
Trying to learn it.
Yep. Yes, I'm with you 100% on that.
You can't learn nothing about on the side of, because I tell Slim used to tell us, and I tell my guys now, watch your audience and watch your lead singer. Them jokers on the side of the stage egging you on, they ain't giving you a dime.
Probably ain't even paid to get in.
That's right, that's what I'm saying. And you listen, my man, he do this, man. Don't look straight ahead.
Right.
Look straight ahead. Because the minute you mess up, then they laughing at you.
Mm-hmm. They be tapping y'all on the shoulder trying to get your attention. They'll do anything.
Man, no, I never did. You know, like I tell people all the time, I said, God, I'm like that baseball, that Mexican in that comedy thing on Saturday Night Live. He said, baseball been very, very good to me.
Yeah.
My tent been very, very good to me.
Yes, sir.
If I want to burn my house down now, I can. I don't owe a dime on it. Not a dime. Got three trucks for a trucking company, and got 2 cleaning businesses. Money coming when I don't sing.
I ain't know that.
Money coming when I don't sing. If I don't sing another 2 or 3 years or 4 or 5 years, I'm straight.
You okay? Yeah.
I got life insurance, health insurance, bank account, all that. When I go in the bank, and Slim taught me that, he said, you can tell when a joker doing something, because when they go in the bank, they don't say, may I help you? They say, Mr. Brown, how you doing, Mr. Brown? And that's how they call me. How you doing, Mr. Kimpson? When the joker ain't doing none of this, I remember we was in Mississippi, and Huey and Rev, they used to have a little competition, all the groups. And they were talking about who got the most money out here and who do this and that. And Huey said, Slim. And Huey, my big brother, so I can say this. We talk every day. He said, Slim, man, I hear y'all over here talking. Man, I go to the bank as much as you do, Slim. So I doubt that, Huey. Man, is you crazy? I go every time you go. Rev say you might, but can you bring some out every time I bring some out? so then, man, you sound crazy, Slim. Slim, as a matter of fact, I don't believe you can bring some out every time Mike brings some out. He jumped. What? Them junkers, man, they used to be, I mean, it was something with them guys, man. Tommy Ellison, that's my boy. God bless the dead, man. Tommy Ellison would pay me $500 just to drive for him. He would come to me, Mike. I said, what you doing, man? Man, y'all on the show tomorrow? I said, yeah. In Richmond? Yeah. I got 500. You drive. I said, you got a driver. You ain't got to say no more. Nephew come. I'm a driver. I said, go ahead, sit down, nephew. Sit down, man. I got this. He hand you the 500 right then on the spot, man. I drive all the way. Slim said, Mike, you better get in this bus. I said, Rev, go ahead. I got this. Yeah. Go ahead.
I'm good.
Mike, I'm telling you now, you better. I said, Rev, y'all could have been halfway up to Richmond by now. Fussing with me, go ahead. You know, so Tommy, he paid good. Like I went to Columbia one time. Man. We were going to Georgia. I stopped at Columbia. They was on the show. And at that time, because see, when Big O had his surgery, I used to wear Big O uniforms and play on the stage. Michael Boone, Sam told Michael Boone in the dressing room, said, and Stedman, he said, we tried to hire Mike. Boone said, what? He said, man, we was going to send home. Ask Boone. I said, well, I let him tell you, Boone. They had me wearing uniforms. And I put on his uniform. They paid me extra money for putting it on. So we got to Columbia. He said, man, I'm glad you're here. Dennis ain't here tonight. I need you to sing second. I said, okay. I said, I got to be in Georgia, man. I got to leave here by midnight. Oh, you'll be on. Midnight come. They still ain't on stage. Them guys at backstage said, Mike, what you going to do? I said, he done gave me my money, $500. It's what you going to do. I said, I'm getting ready to leave. Mike, you going to take the man money? I said, I did what I said I was going to do. I stayed at midnight, man. I said, I did my part.
Right.
I left. Tommy didn't see me for about 5 months. When he saw me, man, you just take a man money, won't you? I said, I ain't took nothing. I said, I told you I had to be gone by midnight because I'm not going to be late for my group. Then he going to call. I played that night. We going to Cali when Scott died. I'm playing. He asked me to play. I'm playing. And I told Dennis and Sam, I said, when y'all do the dancing, I'm going to back up. Y'all got it. He looked at me. You feel it? Tommy, right? Mm-hmm. So when he looked at me, I didn't say nothing. He looked like, you feel it, man? I looked at Dennis. Dennis said, don't pay him no attention. Like that. So I'm still standing back there. He come back by me. Man, you don't feel nothing yet? I said, and I snapped. I said, man, you paying me to play it, not feel it, man. He walked back and forth. Dennis fell out. Dennis said, you know how to handle it, man. How about do I feel it? You ain't paying me to feel it. You paying me to play it. Man, we had some time here, man. But none of us guys never fell out with each other.
Right.
No, we just spoke our mind. We just spoke our mind. Man, we had some time, man.
Tommy wanted you to feel it, huh?
But do you feel it? Man, wave your hand or do something. Man, I'm not getting ready to jump and have me dead, man. So I jumped one time on purpose. We was in Florida, and I told Slim, I said, I'm going to fix him. When they got ready to dance, I act like I was having a seizure. I was going crazy. He said, no. Don't you dance. Don't you dance no more, man. I said, I'll fix you. But you ask me no more to dance. But I would wear a big old suit every night. Every night I wear his suit. When he hit the stage. We had a thing. I wear his suit and I'll play for you, but you got to close every night. Slim thing was, you're not getting ready to tire him out before I come up. Want him to play, he'll play, but you got to close. And that's how we did it. But then was some days that we had some funny guys that come to my house and eat. I used to go to their house and eat. Man, I knew their family, their kids, they knew mine. They all that, man. We had some time. Like if this road don't owe me a thing, Richard. Nothing. If I don't sing another lick, don't play another lick out here on this road, this road old Big Mike a thing. Nothing, bro.
I got you.
I done my thing. Oh, let me do a shameless plug too.
I'm already ahead of you.
Y'all see it? That's that anniversary. That 75th anniversary coming. It's coming to Sanford on February 23rd, the fourth Sunday in February. We're going to be there at the W.B. Wicker Elementary School, 900 Pine Street. That's the wrong one.
It's the wrong. I done had it loaded up and everything.
The wrong one. And on this show, we got Jackson Southern Airs, Willie Banks Jr., Brooklyn All-Star, Little David and the Belle de Joy, and a host of others. Like I said, come on out. The doors, at price at the door, tickets going to be at the door only, $30, $40 VIP pre-sale. So the February 23rd, our 75th anniversary, y'all coming out to help us celebrate. Like I said, I'm getting old now, and I don't know how long I'll be doing this or we'll be doing this because, like I said, ain't too many still out here, almost 70, still playing bass and jumping around. So, y'all coming out to help celebrate. Never know when it's going to be the last. I had a man come to me about 2 months ago at a show talking about, man, I was at your anniversary last year, man. Me and you the same age. I said, yeah. He said, yeah, man. I see you 75. I said, man, I ain't no 75. I said, he thought because it was the 75th anniversary and birthday celebration. I said, man, I ain't no 75 yet. I said, it won't be long. That's it.
That is.
Okay. I told him, I said, it won't be long. It won't be long, but y'all come on out. Like I said, help me celebrate, y'all. I love all y'all. Like I said, and if I've done anything to anybody or said anything to offend anybody, y'all forgive me because I'm trying to get right. Like Keith said, I'm trying to be right.
Yes, sir.
Y'all just forgive me if I've done anything to anybody. I got a soul to save, and I got a place called heaven I'm trying to get to. I'm in the church. Like I said, I'm a trustee, deacon, and all that. So y'all just look over me and pray for me. Keep me in your prayers. I'm going through some health problems. A lot of people know I was in the hospital, had 2 surgeries in June, a week apart. But y'all keep praying for me. God has blessed me. He got me here for a reason. 2012, I was diagnosed with liver and kidney cancer, stage 4, both of them. I'm still here gaining weight, still running. The doctor said the tumors haven't grown since 2012 an inch and told me keep doing what I'm doing. So God got me here for a reason. Most people that get cancer, they're gone by now. And mine is the kind I can't take chemo or radiation because it's a blood cancer. But do I look like I'm worried? No.
Nope.
You never see me walking around moping. People tell me, Mike, I didn't know you had cancer unless you tell it. Because I'm not getting ready to worry about it. You know, I'm not stressed about it. God got me. I done gained weight, steady gaining weight. And like I said, I had them 2 surgeries in June. The doctors had gave up on me for my stomach. They gave up on me, called the family and told them that I might have had another few days to live. You know what I'm saying? When they opened me up, they said that my stomach looked like somebody had poured cement in my stomach. It was so hard in there. But God, I lost 70 pounds, but God brought me back. And I got my weight back. And like I said, y'all see I'm still doing it. Still raising the roof. You know what I'm saying? Still doing all that. Every time we say the Lord has blessed me right now, I'm saying it from the heart.
Yes, sir.
I thank God for my group, my twins. Y'all pray for my twins. Keep them in prayer, you know, because them some young men that trying to live right for God. They got churches. They trying to do the right thing. Bishop Joseph Cobb and his brother Justin. Pray for all my guys. Just pray for all of them because I got some great guys. These guys are faithful. You know, whenever you see the Supreme Angels, you see them. You see them. And I didn't want to call it nothing but what I'm calling the Slim Supreme Angels because it's his. I ain't got nothing here. When I came, the legacy was here. I just joined on to some hits that was already out here. You know, so, and I tell people all the time, with the history of the Supreme Angels, Slim didn't start this group. Slim joined it like we did.
Mm.
They were singing in 1950. Slim joined them in 56. You know what I'm saying? So, but there was 7 preachers, and they couldn't go because they had churches, and the churches were prospering. So Slim went on with Ben Chandler from the Jews and a few other people, Shank Robinson and people. But when Shank went back with the Swan, Ben Chandler went with the Jews and left Slim alone. So he decided, I'm putting my name in front of it from now on. He did. That's how it became. But he, like I said, he didn't start the Supreme Angels. He joined like we did. They were already going. Yeah, the 2 of the originals are still living. They're about 90 years old, 90-something years old. And one is in Alabama, one is in Milwaukee in a nursing home. But they still around. But, you know, I got the honor what I came into. I came into Slim and the Supreme Angels.
Right.
So I honor that, you know. I honor the old man, the Godfather, Spencer Taylor, you know, because like Slim said when I joined, if you notice, Slim changed his style when I joined. They used to sing real high on all them songs, Greg and them, almost sound like they're yelling.
Right.
When I joined, Slim said, we bringing the background down. He said, because I said, why? He said, you come from Spencer Taylor. So if you left Spencer, I know you could sing. Because I thank God, every group I ever sang with, I sang in the background. I ain't never just played for a group. Every group I ever been with, I sang. You know, I thank Big Nick and the Heavyweights guys that I was with. I thank them. Like I said, Spencer Taylor, Big Nick, the Gospel Letters of Dayton, Ohio. I thank all the Dorothy Norwood, the Swan Silvertones. I thank all these people.
So who are the current members of the Supreme Angels now?
Oh, well, you know, he been there before me, really. The keyboard, Reverend Larry Young, played keyboard. Another keyboard, I got Corey Hagwood out of Martinsville, Virginia. On drums, I got Ralph Tarantine. I always tell him he might be kin to Harold. I got to check. And then I got the twin, Justin Cobb and Joseph Cobb. Bishop Joseph is the leader. Justin is my tenor singer in the background. Then I got sophomore. I got Johnny Lindsay on guitar. And sometimes Cliff Austin. These are the burden lifters. So that's the Supreme Angels. And my manager, Lonnie Hawley. Y'all pray for him. He just had a procedure done today, cancer procedure. And they said he'll be down for about 2 months. But y'all pray for him because he'll be back.
Okay.
He'll be back.
So what is your favorite Supreme Angel song?
My favorite?
If you got one.
I got a couple, but one of them we getting ready to start bringing it. We're going to bring it out. He took my burdens away. That's one of them. And I always love Try Jesus. We get ready to bring that out. And I love that one. I'm a ballad man. Even when I write songs, I'll say some ballads. And Melvin Williams used to love that about me. He said, Reverend, be Mike, why won't we record? Melvin, produce your songs first. Mix your song. I said, because they fit what Melvin do. Because he would ask me for songs. Give me that song. No, Melvin, you know. But I love that song. We get ready to bring out also God Loves the Ones Who Cannot Help Themselves. Mm. And I love that because of the message. It's a message about a single mother and a child. You know, when he said a child was born into this world. and her mother was a little girl. The baby didn't ask to be here, and her father left them all alone. God sent along a young man, and he gave them both a home. He even loved the child like it was his own. God loves the ones who cannot help themselves. That's one of my favorite, the message. Yeah. And that's one thing Slim always did. He always wrote songs, and Greg and them, that had deep messages. I never heard man, stuff like that. They saw with message songs,
That Make a Change is a favorite of mine.
Oh, that's a favorite of mine. That's a favorite of mine for a groove. That's a favorite of mine for a groove.
What else? I like Over Yonder, of course.
Oh yeah.
Over Yonder.
We have to do that now, but we're gonna take it out the lineup for a minute, let it rest. I don't want to be a group. I don't want to be because Slim wasn't. I don't want to be a group that if you see me 3 years straight every Sunday, I'm singing the same 5 or 6 songs. That means my catalog ain't but so big. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I need to surprise you with some things.
Right.
So you can say, whoa, they pull that out. Yeah, let me get with them. You know what I'm saying? But I don't want to be where you on stage, you can say, watch, they're getting ready to say this right here.
Right. They know when you're going to do it.
Getting ready to get on one foot and shout right here. Watch, they're going to leave this song and go to this song. Now I'm predictable.
You don't never want to be predictable.
I'm never going to do that. I'm never going to do that. Like I said, if you go on our page and listen to the songs down that we sing now, we sing some everything.
Right.
We even did our anniversary a couple years ago, came out where You Brought Me Through. Yeah, you brought me through, Lord. Lord, you did it for me. We even did that. I said, hey, you got a catalog of songs, use them, man. You singing. If you scared that the only way you can get in is with the same 5 or 6 songs, then you need to give it up, man.
That's one thing about Roy and Allen.
They're gonna say they're not gonna stick with just you're not gonna because if I done made my rounds around the country with them songs, then I'm coming back around again with the same songs. Then the next year back around the same songs. Come on,
right, man. I don't never know. We don't never know what the first song gonna be until
that's how Slim was. Slim would tell us the first song. What we coming on with? I said, what's that after that, Rev? What's next? He said, whatever I call, whatever me and God call.
Yeah.
We just have to be waiting on it. We didn't never know what he's gonna say. He just give you the theme, you come on with, and that's it. The rest of you and that's the way I want to keep it like that now. My guys, it was a must that they learned the top 40 songs that Slim recorded.
Right.
The ones that the people knew. They know them all. They know By and By, Rise Again, Give Me My Flowers. They know them all, man. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I just, like I said, it take you further to me. It just, Rev used to always say, you record it, sing it.
Yeah.
People used to come to Rev, Slim, you gonna sing The Lord is blessing me? Rev said, nope. They said, Slim, don't say that. Slim said, buy the record, we got it on the table. I said, Rev, you ain't gonna sing it? Man, I'm not gonna keep singing them same song forever, man. We done cut 2 more albums since then, man. I said, well, yeah, I hear you. I give Alan that credit. You never know. You never know what's coming out of Alan's mouth.
You never know.
But see, that's the thing I'm surprised to the public. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to be able to predict what it. They know everything you're gonna do, when you're gonna do it. Now watch now. When they finish here, they're gonna do this. And watch. And another thing, it's nowhere in the world you do 10 shows and you got the same speech when you're talking for all 10 shows. You can't think of nothing to say, man.
Like God ain't been good to you.
I tell my guys, I said, man, don't repeat yourself. I say, if a year from now, I don't need to hear you talking the same thing.
Right.
Can we hit this for you? Y'all remember this? Oh, man, come on. Have something to say, man.
Man, y'all got a song, and matter of fact, Keith put me on before he died, and he actually redid it. I don't know if you heard it. It's Lord, You've Been Good to Me.
Oh, yeah.
I love that song.
Scott used to lead that. Lord, 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 sure been good to me.
He redid that before he died. I don't know if you had a chance to hear it.
I heard it, yeah.
Yeah, man.
But
I think y'all need to bring that one back.
we sang it when we first got together. We just ain't done it in about 2 years or so. But I'm gonna have to tell them to get on it for this anniversary.
I need to hear it.
Yes, and tell them come on, get on it. So we gonna have to hit that. I'll tell them to say Richard said he want to hear Lord, 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 or don't get on the stage. So
tell them.
Or else. I would say Richard said, and he ain't playing. Richard said if y'all don't hit it, wherever he see y'all, that he punching y'all in the face, man.
Hey, you know what I said about the Legends anniversary. I said, man, whoever coming on stage after us, I'm punching them dead in the mouth.
Just walk past him and hit him. Bow. Yes, sir.
But man, I sure appreciate you coming on. We done been on here almost 2 hours. Just
time fly when you having fun, man.
I'm telling you, this was much needed. I'm glad you agreed to come on, man. Like,
anytime you need me, nephew, for anything, you know it. You know it, nephew. I don't care what it is. You got my number. Call me, man.
Okay.
I ain't gonna say you my nephew and don't mean it.
I appreciate it.
I mean that from my heart. You tell Roy and all of them, AJ and them, I said, man, they still some of the baddest I know. Tell them all that. Tell them that they still they my faves. As the young people say, they my faves.
Yes,
I love them, man. And I remember when he first started, man. I remember Roy first started, man, to see what he done got to. I remember when the Legends first started. And to see where they are now, I got the utmost respect for Alan, man.
Them some quartet babies for real. Like, that's all they like.
From
just
the heart. and they think, who would have thought of a versus for the anniversary?
That took some out of the box thinking, yeah.
And the verses work because you have people, they're going to sell out anyway, but the verses keep it fresh, make people come because now the curiosity kick in. I got to see this. They so-and-so battling so-and-so. Even though it's not really a battle, but to the public, it's a battle.
And they done the public, to me, some of them done made it like, they trying to make it like we actually got stuff against each other.
Yeah, like you really mad and want to shoot each other or something. I said, man, these guys ain't doing it. The same guys they think got to beef with each other still go out and eat. Y'all like, I went to Florida one time and we're leaving McDonald's, and I just went to the wrestling match. I go to McDonald's. Ric Flair and Dusty Rhodes were fighting, bloodied up. I get to McDonald's, they and Ric Flair's Lincoln in front of me together. And I saw these guys with the blonde hair. So when I got up to the window, when they pull up, I said, my man, who was that? He said, Ric Flair and Dusty Rhodes. I was sick of them. I done spent my money to go see y'all tear each other up, and y'all ride together, best friends. Same thing. Y'all went and ate together. Some of y'all went out and ate together, man.
It's all for good entertainment.
That's all it is, entertainment.
Right.
Man. You know, they get on how about saying that it's entertainment. That's what it is. When you spend your money, you want to be entertained.
Exactly.
You want to be entertained when you spending your money. And tickets ain't cheap no more. It ain't like when we were coming up, $3 tickets, $6 tickets. Man, it started. Some of these boys start at 40.
I'm telling you.
VIP, VIP 75, 100. So if you come and get a VIP for you, your wife, and your child, you done spent $300 on VP.
And you want to feel like a VIP when you get there.
Right. You want to feel like that. And you want them groups to give you everything they got. You ain't trying. I don't care nothing about how you felt, or you call home and your wife or your girlfriend made you mad. That's personal. I know I put my money, I've been here some singing. Yeah. I guess personal with that.
Right.
And like I said, nephew, anytime you need me, man, I'm there for you, man. I'm there for you. I mean that, man. And look, when we on them stages, get up on there. Find something to play. I got you.
I'm gonna hold you to it now.
Yeah. Find a part. So you playing organ, you playing this? Okay, I'm gonna play this. Find something.
You know, I'm gonna be there. I will be.
Yes, sir. Look, if you're down this way at the anniversary, come on, get on there.
Hey, you ain't got to say no more.
I'm serious, nephew, man. Like I said, I love you, man, from the bottom of my heart. I love all y'all. And to all our future legends, don't y'all stop. Don't y'all let nobody discourage y'all. Sent by God, Anthony Moore, Men of Prayer, all these groups, Glorified, all of the groups in this area, the groups down on that end, down Pettis, all y'all. Don't let nobody discourage y'all, man. Y'all, the more they say y'all ain't doing nothing, stick your chest out. Know that you are. Because they wouldn't even pay y'all no attention if you wasn't doing something.
Yep.
You don't mess with nobody that ain't doing that. You mess with people that doing something. Y'all, all of y'all. I look at y'all on your shows, Chubb Morton, all of them. I look at y'all, man. It's not the sky. The universe is the limit for y'all. Take it where you can take it, man. You ain't doing nothing but people think that because y'all doing it that you're hurting us, you keeping us alive. Because they got to remember where they started at. Everything got a beginning to it. So, do y'all thing, man. I mean, all of you younger cats, that y'all are future legends. One day the honors are going to be coming to you all. You know what I'm saying? When the Swan, Silvertone, and all of them was around, then when they went in, we came out. When we decided to go in or whatever, or time bring us in, y'all out here, then y'all will start getting these awards and honors and be looked at that way, because it's going to be a day that y'all going to get old and y'all going to have to move out the way for somebody else.
Yeah, you're right.
It's got to be a day with Chubb, you, whoever, Roy, whoever. It's going to be a day when y'all in your 60s and 70s and y'all got to slide out for the new generation, which is y'all kids now, your children. They're going to be coming up. Y'all got to move, Daddy. We took this another place. They're going to be calling y'all old one day and saying y'all need to go on in. Y'all washed up. That's coming. Y'all going to hear everybody that heard that. Y'all going to hear it too. But why the Lord is blessing you and right now y'all are in your heyday and you do it, man. Do it up. I mean, do it up. These fans, I thank all of y'all for not only supporting my group, but for supporting our future legends. I love that y'all supported the Boot Hughes and the Christy Levettes and all these people and the Jennifer companies. All y'all keep doing what y'all doing. Now, if I left any names, it's charged to my head, not my heart. But like I said, all of y'all are doing your thing, man. Don't stop. Don't y'all stop, man. Go harder. Just go hard. Every day you wake up, go harder and harder. And just watch the rewards, the payoffs, the memories. All that's going to come. You know what I'm saying? And Chubb, when you get to Hawaii, you better give them, I want them Hawaiians do it. I want them marching, Chubb. I want them Hawaiians marching with y'all. If they got them layers on, them lays and stuff, have them marching with you, Chubb. Do your thing. I'm proud of you, man. That's just one of the places God got for you, man. He got so much for you, man. Lisa Noel, who's one of the goats of the females, one of the goats of gospel, period. Quartet, female or male. She one of the goats. And Lisa knows ain't nobody joke, ain't nobody to play with. Lisa Noel Smith. Put the title to it like it's supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? These are people that ain't nobody joke. Do your thing. Lisa, much love, baby, and do it. I remember when Lisa used to come to Troy Raymond anniversary. She could have been on about 12 or 13. We all was on the show. And College Park, Georgia, when I first met Lisa. Do your thing, Lisa. Your mama and them, they behind you. They got you. Trust me, they behind you. Do y'all thing, man. Blessed by for all of y'all. I can't name you all, but y'all know who you are. Y'all know I love you. Uncle Michael love y'all, man. Y'all do your thing, man. And to all my legends, Harvey, I thank you for being you, man. Call me to check on me when I don't even check on myself good. Thank you for that, Harvey. I love you, man. All the groups, the keynotes, the volunteers, all. I want y'all to know I love y'all, man. We've been out here a long time, and God got us out here for a reason still. And keep doing it. Jeffrey Newberry, keep doing your thing. Tito, keep doing your thing. All of you guys, do your thing, man. Let's do it. Let's take it till the wheels fall off. Till we can't do it. There's a room for us still. Somebody still want to hear them legendary songs.
You're right.
Somebody still want to hear them. So let's do this, man. Richard, do your thing, man. Keep doing you, man. Keep this show going. This is a wonderful show you got, the platform, because it's an honest platform.
Yes, sir.
You ain't trying to copy nobody. You doing you. And I see that baby Graham back there.
Oh, man.
I'm looking, man. Y'all see how rich you're living. I'm going to have to do like Rev used to say with us and other groups, Willie Neal, all of them. I'm at the call Roy and say, Roy, I think Richard's stealing some money, man. Yes, sir.
God has been good.
Yes, Rev used to tell us that we buy something new. Man, I think I'm paying you guys too much money.
Yeah.
But when you do good, he bless you good.
Oh yeah, you're right.
I'm a firm believer, like Deion Sanders say. I don't knock what the groups do, how they dress or whatever, but I'll leave this with y'all, younger groups. Deion Sanders said, I sticks to it. If you look good, you'll sing good. If you sing good, they'll pay good. Trust me. Trust me. If mama can put on some clothes to come hear you, mama and daddy, the least you can do is put on some clothes to sing for mama and daddy. I ain't saying you got to put on a suit.
Just be presentable.
Look like you got, but just I always say, I tell groups, look like you taking mama and daddy and their hard-earned money into thought. You know what I'm saying? They don't have to come see you. The young folks don't have to come see you. You know what I'm saying? But look like dress for success.
Right.
You know, dress for success. I give Roy that Roy gonna be clean. Legend's gonna be clean. Mickey's gonna be clean. That's another one that they better watch. That's another Justin Mickens is nobody toy to play with. You wind him up, you put your hand behind his back and wind him up if you want, you got trouble. You got trouble. But I'm gonna let you go, man, and you go on and do your thing tonight and get you some rest because you got work tomorrow or whatever.
I'm off. I'm gonna do like you have my feet kicked up. I'm chilling tomorrow.
Right. That's right. That's right. I'm like Fuzzy Taylor said about Spencer. He said, I'm like him. I think I've been doing this long enough I can do that. This gray ain't up here for nothing. It ain't up here for nothing. Yes, but yeah, but I love you, man, and I'm gonna sign off here.
All right, we love you too, Unc.
And if you need me again for another interview anytime, we got it.
Hey, you know we gonna make it happen. Trust
all right,
me.
baby. Love you, man.
All right, love you too.
All righty.
All right. Michael Kimpson, everybody. Y'all give him a great big hand. Okay, y'all. That was a wonderful interview we had. Shout out to Roy for getting on. He got on a little late, but better late than never. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. We've been a little slack, but I promise you we're gonna pick back up on them. We just got to get some more people lined up. And I thank y'all for all y'all support, all y'all love. Thank y'all for the love y'all been showing me these past couple days too. I promise you I've seen all the comments, got all the inboxes. I appreciate everything. But I'm about to get off of here and get me some rest because I'm still tired from the weekend. If you need me, hit me up. If not, that's fine too. But we'll catch y'all later. I don't know when. Just be prepared. Y'all have a good night and we will see y'all. Peace.